Hello everyone. I and the trains welcome you to the first episode of what potentially will be a long-running series. It depends, but I thought it would be fun to share with you the handful of artwork that I have done for this channel specifically that did not end up making the cut. Sometimes I start designing a character and I'm just not feeling it, or things go wrong. Sometimes I don't even see what goes wrong until I get really far into it. And I just want to specify here, this is all my own critique of my own artwork. You might think these look fine. These are just the artworks that I consider to be failures or just not up to my own standards. So I'm going to start today with an artwork I actually tried to do 2 times, or a design I tried to do 2 times, and I don't want to say I hated both of them because I didn't and I don't hate either of them, but it's just something about them, it was just off and I didn't like either one for what they were. So this first character for this first episode of the first series is Steampunk Biomechanic Surgeon, whatever you want to call him, Quinn Tailor. And I knew right away with this design, I wanted it to be slightly different. I wanted it to have a bit of an edgier look, so I tried to give him the, you call that the Hime? Princess Hime, whatever. The haircut with the 2 pieces and like the straight bangs. Sometimes extreme angles work out really well for me, and other times they're disastrous because I just can't figure it out without a reference. I typically change the colors of the shadows, the skin tone, like I change the colors of the palette all the time. I don't usually start with a predetermined color palette, I just usually make it up as I go. It doesn't look terrible, but something about the placement of the eyes, the angle of the face, I wasn't happy with it, so I'm just focusing on little details right now to distract myself from the fact that I'm probably going to go back and change his face. Oh yes, put all those buttons on there, that'll make it perfect. And look, I was so confident, I did all the hearts and the text. He fixed your heart. Oh, he needs a name. Oh wait, he has one. I was so excited, obviously, from this. I was so excited and so sure that it was finished, but then here I go. After I'd completely quote-unquote finished it, I went back and changed his face, and this is where it gets hilarious. Went back and changed his face, and I was trying to make him look more excited, like, oh my gosh, you're alive! Instead of looking excited, he looks very crazed and insane, and that was not my intention. And when I let it rest for a bit, and then I went back and looked at it, I couldn't believe that this was the one that I ended up with. The previous version was okay. There's nothing wrong with it. And I don't even know what that thing is that he's holding. I was just trying to find some kind of techie looking, it's like tubes and medical stuff, I don't know. But yeah, this is what I came up with. This is what I finished with, and I was so unhappy with it that I started another attempt, and here we go with that one. And so for this one, I actually had a really strong start. I was like, I'm gonna zoom in on just the face, I'll add the details later, but it's not gonna be that extreme angle. And I was really feeling the haircut, and I thought maybe this time I could give him some droopy eyes, like the droopy eye style or design, because I realized I didn't have a character that had the kind of slanted eyes like that. And at this point, I'm not hating it, because sometimes in just the line work phase, or even the really ugly flat color stage, it looks okay, but then it all goes wrong when I start adding the shading and the details, and that's kind of what happened with this. Still not looking terrible, but just not, just something about the angle of the eyes, how sad he looks. It just wasn't working for me. So this is where I ended up. I didn't go any farther than this because I just wasn't feeling it. And honestly, looking at it now, there's nothing wrong with this per se. I just did not feel this face for this character, and I am very glad that I went with the version that I did end up with, which I'll put on screen right now, even though you probably have all seen it. Darling Quinn Tailor. But going back to this version, I don't know. There's nothing inherently wrong as far as the structure, the layout. I just, like I said, wasn't feeling like the droopy, sad, tired kind of eyes. And something about his smile, it just didn't fit. But I did take the headpiece. And transfer it to the current version. I made it part of his goggles, and I actually gave him full-on goggles instead of just the glass spectacles. And that was the idea behind it. So there you have it. The very first double failure, quote-unquote failure, that I wanted to share with you all. Just artwork that didn't make the cut. So I might potentially reuse this face, actually, of the second attempt, because I do like it. I just would probably redo the hair and just find a character that's a little more sleepy or laid back or shy, but has a pleasant personality. That's what this face is for. That's the kind of character this face is for, not Quinn Tailor. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for listening.